Hey everybody, Bridgerland Dog Off, Conscious of Economics and Urban Farm Project. Anyway, I have lots of stuff, constantly sorting and organizing, and I have some stuff some people are coming for, and then I have stuff that needs to go in the garage, and here's my little starters. Hi there. She's laying on her lump, her giant lump. Yep, so she still needs the surgery, and so we're still raising money, about 1,700 more, probably. Yeah, so this is everything. I'm going to have to water them this morning. And, yep, and some are doing good and some are not. And yeah, so what we get is what we get. And here's some new stuff. I'm super excited. I've got valerian, finally got the lemon verbena I've been dreaming about. And I've got some ladies mantle, which I'm excited about. And I forgot about, this is ladies mantle. This is, I forgot what this one is. Oh yeah, no, I'm super excited about this. I have like a regular bee balm that's red flowers, but that's the bergamot. And bees will just love that, and just the smell, and I'll probably rub it all over myself. And that's, like Earl Grey tea. The reason why it tastes different is because they use a bergamot. So anyway, I just kind of want to do a short video, and I'm trying to stay out of like politics and financial and all that other stuff, and it's pretty wild. I'm kind of moving into, like, for me, being in, whistleblower for 30 years and all that other stuff, and, I've just kind of reached the place where my neighbor, where I'm in what's next. So I've moved out of what's coming, what's going to happen, getting prepared, surviving it. And now I'm into what's next. So that's my focus. And also, working on this property, I'm just kind of building a lot of just different kinds of systems here, which is kind of fun. That's what we're going to showcase today. And I love this. I call it the piggyback method. I don't know, if somebody developed it a while ago, but I build something, the core, and because I'm watering that, then I piggyback. I just start expanding away from. And so I piggybacked bush beans along the whole fence line here. And the other thing too is this fence is going to give them a little bit of support. We do get pretty high winds sometimes. So, and this is for hose because I don't want to beat them to death. Yeah, because sometimes I forget what I've got going on where. So they go all the way up and around. So that'll be good. So I like the piggyback method, start with something. I do it all the time. And I think it's, it kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know, sometimes horticulture, where you also are doing kind of a design, but you start with, something large, and then you build out in just different kinds of layers, all the way to like the ground cover. It could also be kind of like how you would redesign like a forest habitat, but I'm trying to do it with like edibles and medicinals. Anyway, so that's a whole other story. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about my meadow. So my goal here, and we're going to get into my meadow because my meadow is second year meadow from the first year growth, and then I'm adding stuff into it, and it's really turning out gorgeous. So I want the meadow to kind of go, I need to move all this wood because it's going to go kind of through half of it, and then that'll be the whole meadow. That's my mulch pit over there. So a lot of this that can't be burned and the wood stove will go over into there to break down. And then I actually want to make a little horseshoe pit like right here. I think it'll be fun. And then I have this giant pallet in the back that I'm going to drag over here to make like a patio and put a piece of plywood on it. Then I can have little patio chairs and stuff there and make it kind of a relaxing kind of de-stressing area. And it'll be kind of in my meadow. My meadow will be on this side because this side of the yard is like the coolest in the afternoon when it gets really hot here in the desert, and it's shaded, so it'll be really nice. But so I have like lots of different types of grass. Then I've been testing out grasses that weren't here and then developing grasses that were here. So some grasses don't make the grade, you know, like a foxtail type grass, or I get rid of the bronco grass. And but there are a lot of other types of grasses, and I really love these long, tall grasses. And I don't know what their names are, but I do appreciate them and their seeds. Like, they're just so beautiful because they, you know, look at how beautiful those seeds are. You know, they thrash around in the breeze. They're so good for soil, hard soil, because they're going to keep the soil kind of open to receive water, so water can go down. And then here's in between, I have to kind of do some weeding in here. There's a blueberry I planted. I figured the blueberry would love the meadow. So I have planted some stuff in here. I've got some sunflowers, a grapevine, asparagus, and more sunflower seeds. And then here I have a big patch of flowers from last year that haven't flowered yet. And then we're just enjoying this little meadow. I mean, I love it because I don't want to do a big meadow. It's too expensive with water. But after having taken some classes, you know, with people, and especially like native restoration type stuff, forest, I wanted to do like a meadow experiment. So this is my meadow experiment. It's doing so good. Look at this beautiful little beautiful little wildflower. Isn't that gorgeous? Can you imagine? Like all these little flowers grow within this grass and it'll just be like just beautiful. And this is chicory. Chicory is pretty happy. It was rough on it last year, but it did seed out pretty good. Then look at this beautiful grass. I just love it. It like reminds me, you know, when it bobs around, watching it sometimes it reminds me of like sea stuff under the water, just because of the way that it kind of moves. It's pretty cool. And in here, you know, I've done a whole bunch of flowers. Here's some more of that beautiful grass. And I've just got some wildflower stuff in here, you know, stuff that would take. And speaking of a devil, foxtail. I got some calendula coming up, and anyway, and I've got some of the soapwort I planted to get last year. So amazing. Look at beautiful purple little flowers. But this area was like, you can go back and look at my videos. I don't know if I did many over here. It was a rough area. And then I've got a tree that is growing back there that I've rehabilitated, and I've got more soapwort. And so eventually this will be like completely congealed into a beautiful meadow. And like I said, I want to put in a nice little horseshoe pit here and my big pallet patio. So yeah, so I'm kind of excited about that. And let's showcase kind of like more piggybacking before I let you go. Oh yes, I've got weeds. I've definitely got to pull. My peas are cranking. I got Alaskan peas and snap peas, and I get handfuls like once a day now, and I just chow. Okay, so here we have, like, we'll just talk about this. I originally started, the first thing I planted was the rose, and I transplanted it from the river from last summer, and it didn't make it in the summer, so I didn't know it was going to come back, but it's coming back so good. And I think it had to figure out the land and the energies and the soils, and then it came back. Then I planted some chicory seeds. You can see how well that's going. And chicory is kind of a dandelion family, right? So it's good stuff. And so I'm going to be eating some of those greens today. I'm going to thin it down and chow down on some of that beautiful chicory leaf. I got to make sure and look it up that it's edible. I'm pretty sure it is, but I will check before. And then that was that. That was those two things from last winter. Then I planted sweet pea seeds. I planted Hopi sunflower seeds. And then I planted the borage. And then I've also got a little something coming up there. Yeah. All right, so that's a piggyback, right? Then this year I planted a boysenberry next to it with some purslane. So I'm kind of piggybacking with the water, thing. And then this went a little bit wild. I also planted this primrose last year. And I transplanted the bull thistle there. And I did the peas. And so bull thistles are coming up from last year, primrose last year, and the peas this year. But they're piggybacking with the Hopi sunflower, with the borage, and all of this stuff, right? And then it turns into one big, eventually it'll turn into one big consecutive thing. And then, of course, the mugwort on the chain is doing enormously well. I'm also creating like a new ley line. And I'm using plants kind of as an acupuncture thought process, right? And so here is some flowers and also primrose from last year. I think I had a blackberry here that did not make it. Sunchoke. This is the original sunchoke that I got. And then the other 7 are spindly, and like 4 did not make it at all. So anyway. And then shardy. Oh, my beautiful shardy. Leaves you cannot eat. You can only eat the stalk, so you know. But they become huge next year. These guys will be monsters. And they'll be like really good friends to shade-needed plants underneath. So I can plant in full sun, but if I have something that actually shades, a ground tree plant, then I can actually plant shade plants underneath. So just a thought. So here we go. This is a good one. This was a new one that I've made, so everything in it is pretty new. Here's another piggyback. I've got Hopi sunflowers. I got a salad, barnett, strawberry was there, and then I planted purslane, ground cover. Here's one of the sunchokes that came from another source, and they were a little bit stressed out. This I'm just kind of building. I don't want to build too much because I want to be able to open this gate, and then more piggybacking. Like, piggybacking. This is a pretty cool piggyback. Okay, so the mullein was growing from last year. This is its second year. I've got a pea back there that I planted this year. Sage was the last year. Hopi sunflowers, some purslane as a ground cover. And then I planted these in there, transplanted them. My rose. Some more sunflowers, mugwort that's struggling, so that's why I'm putting some friends in here. The soil might be too much for one. It may not be good enough for one. It may be too hard too. So planting several plants can break up different layers, and help out. And then, yeah, so I mean, this is the great piggyback here. And then I've got boysenberry, sunflowers, and some purslane in there. And there's a raspberry bush in there. Oh, and then I've got a pole bean coming up too. So anyway, yeah, so this is like a great piggyback. like a couple things sprawled out, and then eventually you just start kind of planting it in and moving it out. And it's just more sustainable, and you piggyback water. So, and the older plants help the younger plants. That's also kind of a permaculture thing, you know, as well. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, and I was trying to think about what's my favorite thing going on right now. Yeah, I don't know. Here comes my mailman. I have a little gift for him on the mailbox, so I gotta go. Talk to you later. Here's just a nice parting shot of my gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous mugwort I dug up from the river last year. And it was spindly, and look at it this year. Next year it's just gonna be all over. And that's what I need. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.